a speeding bullet.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
More powerful than a locomotive.
Hulk! Smash!
Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
There's more to them than meets the eye.
It's Superman!
By the power of Grayskull!
Masters of the universe.
What do you know about taking off your clothes? You're just a strut from down below in Castle Grayskull. Come on!
School evening, everybody out there in Radio Land. We started things off with a little heavy metal there, done by Eric Cauldron, a cover of Masters of the Universe theme, a mixture between the cartoon and the movie. I promised I'd bring you guys something special other than myself, Chuckles the Clown, and George Garner, who are always a special treat here on Chuckles Crypt, Rhode Island, freeradio.org. We brought you something a little new, a little metal cover for you. What do you think of that, George, to start things off with?
Hey. Woke me up.
Yeah, I mean, I promised this week, part 2 of this, that we would be talking about the other side to the Masters of the Universe. Now, like I said earlier in part 1, which if you haven't heard it, go back and pull it back up on the blog page there, or and listen to it on Rhode It's up there. I had talked about, normally Masters of the Universe is a kiddo-friendly cartoon, and it was aimed towards the kids of the 80s. Partly what stopped it from succeeding, unlike other cartoons, where they took that other leap and would go to the mature, older kids. Not so much anymore. In 2000, Masters of the Universe released another brand new cartoon. And this cartoon actually did something that the earlier one, it didn't do so well. And everybody's saying, what are you talking about? It was a good cartoon. Yes, it was. It was a good cartoon. But the characters didn't have story to them. They would just show up once or twice inside there, and they didn't have stories to them. Even, like, big characters, like Skeletor. Okay, you knew he was evil, and he was behind Hordak and all that whatnot, and he worked for him. But you didn't know how he came to be as a kid. Even in the cartoons, it's like, or the comics, very little was told on this character's story.
Yeah, basically it was a means to sell more action figures, and they stopped right there.
Right, probably because they thought kids wouldn't have the attention span to care about these characters' backstories and whatnot, so it really wasn't important. The newer cartoon, however, and I'm not saying He-Man, the one that was made in the 90s, Space He-Man, which that was horrible. It only lasted for a year and maybe a little less than that. That was a horrible show.
Well, as you say, when characters go into outer space, unless they belong there, that's pretty much the acts of doom.
I don't know too many fans of this that actually like that show. If you do, post it up on the Facebook invite I put up there or up on our site. Tell us you like it, and tell me why, because I don't see why you would.
Because we're really wondering.
Yeah. It really is one of those things. But no, the new cartoon came out, and it gave story and it gave depth to these characters. You find out that Skeletor is He-Man's uncle. And you find out about the colorations, like why is he blue and He-Man's like, why is he blue and He-Man's white? What's going on here? You know, I've heard about different races, but this is kind of out there. And you find out about this stuff. You find out how did Tila and Masters of Arms end up, how did he become her dad? And you find out, well, the Sorcerer's Head. There's a lot of backstory that was put into this. Really good cartoon. Unfortunately, it didn't catch to the public because it only made it a couple seasons. And right when it got to the Hordak season, which is the best part of the He-Man, if you ever got into that, it is even the comics, he's one bad dude. When it got to that point, they stopped it. They didn't continue the storyline anymore, and it was left to the grave and done. No more backstory. They didn't even bring back She-Ra, the Poland, the leftovers of that. They just stopped it. Not even a favorite toy line that came out with that. It didn't really catch, and I don't know why.
Some things just, they are past their time. In other words, it's a time and a place.
I think you're right, and I don't think they were released at the right time. I think there was other things competing with them that kids thought were cooler. I mean, you had Ninja Turtles had another release around then. You had those stupid Power Rangers that was out there. There was other things coming out that the kids were into, so getting into some dude half naked running around with a sword chasing skeletons, well, it really didn't catch. And it didn't. Comic book wise, again, it didn't catch as well. It did very poorly in sales, especially when it went to I believe is IDW. It did very poorly compared to some of the other series, to the point where it went up for sale and DC bought it. The rights to the story right now. They don't have the rights to He-Man, but they have the rights to public and put out the comics. Those stories are incredible. And if you are into reading comic books, we'll get back to that in a little bit. When we come back from this music break, though, however, I'd like to discuss a couple movies I watched with being in my deeper sense of depression. Not an evil clown can get to a deeper sense, but he has. I've gotten to a real deep sense of depression where pulling back my toenails and putting rubbing alcohol is considered a good time for me. So let's put it that way. But right now we're going to go down to, why not? We're going to go down to Disturbed. Just like me, it's a game that's
autobiographical.
Depression. The game, Disturbed, here on Chuckles Crypt.
Tell me exactly what am I supposed to do now that I have allowed you to beat me? Do you think that we could play another game? Maybe I could win this time. I kinda like the misery you put me through. Darling, you can't trust me completely. If you even try to look the other way, I think that I could kill this time. Rock, rock. Rock, rock. It doesn't really seem I'm getting through to you, though I see you weeping so sweetly. I think that you might have to take another taste, a little bit of hell this time. Rock, rock. Lie to me. Rock, rock. Lie to me. Is she not right? Is she insane? Will she now run from her life and live that ends this day? Is she not right? Is she insane? Will she now run from her life and she lie? You always wanted people to remember you, to leave your little mark on society. Don't you know your wish is coming true today? Another victim dies tonight. Rock, rock. Lie to me. Rock, rock. Lie to me. Is she not right? Is she insane? Will she now run from her life and live that ends this day? Is she not right? Is she insane? Will she now run from her life and she lie? Telling lies again. Doesn't she realize she's in danger? Is she not right? Is she insane? Will she now run from her life and live that ends this day? Is she not right? Is she insane? Will she now run from her life and she lie? Little when then she told a lie. Now she would never tell another a lie. Little when then she told a lie. Never
More.
lied to me.
A little Disturbed for you. That's called The Game. We play the game every week on this stupid Monday. Everybody wakes up, and I full-heartedly believe in Garfield saying Mondays suck. But Chuckles Crypt's here to make Mondays suck a little less, and especially for you fans out there of wrestling. This is kind of something to warm you up, get you excited. You listen to Chuckles Crypt, you listen to a little Haunted Cabaret, and then you shut it off, and bam, Raw is ready to go. So you have...
And you're recommending Raw now.
I am, and